There it is. Now it's
There we go.
recording. Hello!
Hello!
Not spiking things today.
Or spiking things today.
Or, yeah, we'll see. Maybe
Whichever.
a little of both.
I'm Jeff and this is Brad.
Hi, it's February 17th, 2019.
Oh. How was
Yep.
your Valentine's Day?
Oh, it was good. It's good. I took a cooking class with Alana, and we
Yeah.
went downtown, and they lay out all the ingredients for you, and then
Yeah.
they walk you through a 4-course meal, and yeah, it was
Wow.
pretty cool. Yeah, we were
That sounds like
fed
a long-
and drunk by the end.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Is it like those painting classes where you get drunk and paint, and then so you get drunk and then cook?
I get, like, the idea wasn't to get drunk and then cook. We just became drunk over the course of cooking. But
Pretty sure there.
I haven't heard of the drunken painting classes.
Oh yeah, you go
Yeah.
and you drink wine and you paint.
Well, that sounds amazing.
But I haven't done it. But
Okay.
if I went and drank wine, like
Yeah.
2 glasses of wine and painted, my end result would be
Be Jackson Pollock by the end, just throwing
you
the
would see
paint at
from
you.
left to right
Yeah.
my painting ability. It just became.
Well, it is funny how they did it because you start with a very elaborate meal. We did salmon Wellington, and
Wow.
then with like these eggplant and couscous and all this stuff. So they do like a lot of the heavy prep, the technical stuff in the beginning, the first round, and then
Yeah.
each subsequent, because you do 3 stages of actual cooking,
Yeah.
and you eat 3 times. But like the first one's very intensive, very detail oriented, and then the subsequent steps become simpler because people
they know you're
yeah,
drinking.
people are
There you
getting
go,
into the
see?
booze.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
no, it was a lot of fun.
Huh,
It was cool.
cool. I guess you don't want to go to that and do like, now drop the fries in the fryer.
Yeah, the expectations. But they do a whole bunch. Like they do a cheese. It's Dirty Apron. I'll plug them. Yeah, I mean for everybody who follows us. But yeah, it was cool here in Vancouver. So
Oh,
it was fun.
nice.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome, cool.
Yeah. There you go.
Well, here we are in the middle of February.
Yes.
And you're going to kick things off with an actual Canadian story.
Man, am I ever. So, so SNC Lavalin. Now, this may sound familiar to some people. If it's not, it's a huge engineering firm based out of Quebec that has been embodied in scandal yet again here in the last couple of weeks.
Again? When was the
again.
first time?
Well, actually, we did a story on this.
Remind me.
And I don't know the date, but it was easily 2012, not 2012, 2016, because that's when the charges were first laid against the vice president of SNC Lavalin. His name is Sami Bebouai, I'm saying that wrong. Anyway, so he's still in court. But he was charged, well, the whole company and a bunch of execs, but it's really been hung on his head with bribing Libyan officials to get infrastructure projects built so their engineering firm could do that.
Even Doc Brown knows to not cross Libyans.
Right, yeah, I mean, that's just, it's crazy. So he was highly affiliated with Muammar Gaddafi, for those who don't remember, a dictator that wasn't fantastic to his people and ended up getting a stick up his ass. I think, if I remember properly.
Found in a sewer or something.
Yeah, it didn't end well for him. So he's still in court. So why this is now in news now, Jeff,
Yes,
is
please.
because the government. This is like a huge story. What we're hearing is like the tip of the iceberg. This thing goes so deep.
And that's why I wanted you to kind of clarify, because I keep seeing it and I can't get my head around it, because I guess I forgot the basis of it. So I keep hearing the headlines and the articles keep moving forward as if I already know the basics.
Right, yeah, and it's really doing the public a disservice because this really shows how intertwined companies, big corporations specifically, and government are with regards to lobbyists, etc. So I'll try and give you the Coles notes here as best we can. Stop me if you have any questions. But as I said, so 2001 and between 2001 and 2011, SNC Lavalin was accused of funding money towards the Libyan government, Muammar Gaddafi. And so now it's been in court. The recent charges have been thrown out of court because it took too long for the prosecution to get their crap together. So this guy, Sami Bebouai, is still facing charges on other things, including Quebec infrastructure projects, including a large bridge renovation, which he bribed, I better get this right, the Canadian Federal Bridge Corporation president, Michel Fourier. I'll put it underneath so you can see the name. But yeah, so Michel maybe was apparently received $2.3 million back then, and that was between 2001 and 2003, again, for that bridge renovation. Now, why this is sticky now is because the government is prosecuting SNC Lavalin for all these shady things. It's a problem because the Quebec government has investments inside SNC Lavalin. 20% of their retirement fund for public employees is held in that company.
Wow.
That's a crazy amount. So they're concerned on two things. Of course, the stock goes down when there are alleged criminal actions against the company, and there was also a potential of a foreign buyer coming in and snapping them up. They didn't know what was going to happen. All of these retirement funds are in this company.
But haven't there been rumblings of this since 2001? So why is it still so much invested in that?
2011 is when charges started to surface.
Oh, okay.
2017 is when Michel Fournier pleaded guilty, and of course, what's his name? Sami Bebouai has been in court. Well, not in court, but those charges have been pending for about 4 or 5 years.
So did I miss 2001? Didn't you say 2001?
That's when the allegation that the improprieties allegedly happened, starting in 2001. Gotcha. Yeah, back then. So what is accused of our government now? Justin Trudeau, our Prime Minister, and Jody Wilson-Raybould, who was our former I better get this right, Attorney General, which is kind of like the head of making sure that the legal system is running properly, okay? So what is being alleged is that Trudeau stepped in, told Raybould, hey, gotta make this SNC Lavalin thing go away. Give them a plea deal, encourage for a plea deal so they won't have formal charges on them and nobody will spend time in jail. That keeps the stock price up. Quebec is then happy, and everything just goes along smoothly. The Liberals, when they got into government, because there was court charges pending, as soon as the Liberals got into government, very quietly, they passed new legislation. This is called Deferred Prosecution Agreement. And what this means is large corporations won't have to do any jail time, they won't receive criminal charges, they'll pay a small fine and things will go away. Guess who lobbied for this? SNC Lavalin. Their own lobbyists in the government pushed for this legislation. The Liberals said, sure, let's do it. So this is how intertwined these corporations. This is common practice all over the world. And it doesn't matter how democratic your country is. This is happening. So this is a big thing.
Yeah, money talks and corporations are people now.
It's ridiculous. So, and the fact that the retirement savings are lumped in is just another complicating layer that really makes it difficult. So I've got a lot of details in here. I tried to, just in case you had any questions about it, but that's the gist. So Jody Wilson-Raybould recently resigned because she felt, she hasn't publicly commented on this, but the speculation is she felt pressured to propose that plea deal to SNC Lavalin and by the Prime Minister. She hasn't commented. The Prime Minister is somehow confounded by why she resigned. I just don't understand it, Come on, Justin, get your head on straight, man. Why doesn't he just say, okay, she resigned, we'll get to the bottom of it. Clearly we have some more talking to do. But he's throwing her under the bus, and I think she's going to come over the top at him. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens.
It's going to be messy, it sounds like.
It's going to be really messy. This is going to really hurt the Liberals. And it just, it's really showing the true face of Justin Trudeau. The Liberals, they campaign on the left, and they govern from the center. And that's exactly what they're doing, and that's clear here. So, yeah, there it is. SNC Lavalin in a nutshell.
Well done.
Thanks very much. Yeah, you guys, if you have any questions on this, email us. We're happy to start a
Please
dialogue.
Email us. That'd be great.
Message us on Instagram or tweet us.
Everything is at CaNews Podcast, and our email is CaNewsPodcast.
That's right.
@gmail.com.
That's right.
It's not an official email account, but that's all right.
It works, yeah, and Twitter works too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there it is. Yeah.
Um,
This is crazy. It's like crazy. Do I have anything more on this? I just feel like
I'm
it's
sure
just
you do.
it's just a bunch of details. Oh, this is what I wanted to say. So right now we're learning that here in BC, hydro. Oh, I went on for way too long. I'm gonna
go
edit
ahead.
half of this crap out. But hydro is $16 billion in debt because of infrastructure and deal signings that they made from the provincial Liberal government, apparently forced them to sign these high stake deals, and now they're way over budget. Who's on the hook? Taxpayers like you and me.
Same with ICBC here in British
Same with
Columbia.
ICBC. So I would speculate that we're going to see the exact same pattern that happened in this SNC Lavalin case unfold for these cases with Hydro and ICBC as we learn more about how connected the government. I mean, they're a crown corporation, so obviously they're connected, but I mean, really, it's a business with a government, and they're just stroking each other like this.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, it's
They got
disgusting.
crisscrossed.
Like it really is. Like if you're at all politically motivated, write your MLA and tell them that tell them that you're not happy with this because this is not happy behavior.
Right?
That's it. Yeah. Right. Gosh darn it.
Good job, Brad.
Yeah. Thanks, Rev.
Nice summary. I like that.
There you go.
I knew you'd be able to get to the bottom of that.
Ugh.
So I'll go in a completely different
It
direction.
was probably healthy for us at this point.
Probably
Yeah,
a good
yeah,
idea.
Yeah.
So obviously there's a lot of stuff going on. I don't know if we need to cover everything ad nauseum.
I've already done that.
So some of I mean Trump and all
Oh.
the global news going on.
Right.
I think that's being covered quite a bit. I don't have it. It's hard to find it, and part of it I'm following it.
Yeah.
But to find a specific story to look at and report on,
Mhm.
there is so much going on
Mhm.
that it's hard to even summarize all of it. So like I don't have this here. I'm just kind of going off what I've been watching.
Yeah.
Mike Pence is at the international conference in Germany, or where is it taking place? I think it's in Germany.
It could be, yeah. I think it was Zurich, or maybe it's Switzerland. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But the U.S. is getting the cold shoulder from everybody, and global politics is shifting in a completely different direction. Mike Pence didn't get booed, but he got completely ignored in his speech and introduction and his comments. Basically, he went in touting that I'm here on behalf of Donald J. Trump, and when Trump does the State of the Union,
Yes.
and there's very clear applause breaks.
Yes.
Pence would have those, had it at least 2 times, and just dead silence from the audience. And Mike Pence is not exactly
He's a
Joe Biden,
He's a
right?
pensive kind of guy.
Yes,
yeah.
he's certainly a pensive kind of guy. And he was visibly shook that he was not getting a
Really?
response from these global leaders. You know when you have that reporter type pacer,
Yeah.
blah 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 blah. Nothing.
Wow.
And he kept on going. So
That's great.
and then Angela Merkel goes up and
Yeah.
does a speech off script. She almost always has a script or a prompter or something that she's reading off. She went completely ad-libbed,
Yeah.
and she went off on the global political scene,
Yeah.
and she talked about every single region in the world and America and how the politics everywhere is shifting.
Hello, CaNews viewers. Good news, Jeff and I go on a bit of a rant here, so if you want to check that out, just stay tuned on this channel, and it'll be the next video to play. If not, here's the rest of the episode.
30, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Good. Hey.
Hey,
So that
thanks
was
for
fun.
joining us.
Yeah.
We ranted a little bit. I didn't get to, which is good because I didn't have too many topical stories. We got into some topical stuff anyway.
That's good.
Apologies to Germany and everybody else in the world and everyone on Instagram and everything I said.
So do you want to do a recap of that last story, or is that
Which one
good?
specifically?
The Angela Merkel.
That's not even my story, man.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
even know where we went.
Oh, I see. So so let's get into that story there now. Okay. So yeah, let's get into that story.
Which?
The one that you were going to talk about before Angela Merkel came up.
This is a story about Pokemon Go, so I don't know what,
We were so off
where
base.
we went.
Wow.
That's what I mean. I don't know where we
Oh
springboarded.
boy, good,
But,
love it. Okay, Pokemon Go it up, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Pokemon Go. Everybody knows what Pokemon Go is by now.
Yeah.
Apparently, people still play it like crazy. I didn't know. I got it when it first came out. Me and
Yeah.
the kids went around and stuff. But once I got my phone bill a month later, I stopped playing it because when you go out and about, it's using your
It's
data.
all data, yeah.
And if you don't have a plan that that doesn't cap, you end up paying through the teeth.
Ooh,
So
jeez.
to heck with that. So Pokemon Go is a game where you go around wherever in the world and catch Pokemon. They're randomly placed through their internal system, and you go around and the phone alerts you that there's Pokemon nearby. Anyway, you collect Pokemon just like a Pokemon master who wants to be a Pokemon master, and you can find gyms around the world. There's one near the Coquitlam SkyTrain, for example. That's
Okay.
a Pokemon gym.
Okay.
You go nearby, and there's other Pokemon players
Yeah.
who will go ding. Oh, there's someone nearby. You want to fight him? Sure. Okay, and you'll have a Pokemon battle.
Oh.
So of course these get saturated all over the world, and it's not just SkyTrain stations and restaurants. It's near people's homes
Yes.
and cell phone towers and things like that. So there's these issues going on where people's land are being, get off my land! I'm just trying to catch Pokemon.
Darn kids and their Pokemon.
And in the beginning it was kind of cute and funny, but now it's being a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
again.
yeah,
So they're
yeah.
making some changes to some of the Pokestops and gyms, they're called.
Okay.
So you can go in and train in the gym, but you can train with other people who are on your same team. There's the yellow ones, the red ones, the blue ones, and some other color I can't remember. But now, some single-family residential properties, there's, for example, as a rule, there will be removal of any gyms or Pokestops
Yeah.
within 40 meters of any of them.
That's
So
smart.
that's essentially the kind of overall
Yeah.
guideline of stuff. So it makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah. It's
So
pretty brazen to be like hopping into backyards and trying to catch a Pokemon.
I think so too. When I started playing, it was like this. It is actually a kind of fun game, so
Yeah.
I totally get it.
Yeah.
And you see groups of people kind of looking all together like this on their phone, and if you know what you're looking for, you can tell, okay, they're clearly playing Pokemon.
Okay.
I saw a bunch of 6 guys out here yesterday
Yeah.
who were all walking around with stuff like this, and their phones, and I'm like, what the? Oh, they're probably playing Pokemon Go. So it's obviously still happening.
Yeah, yeah.
But these rules are coming up, and you're not going to be able to go wherever the hell you want to catch Pokemon and to fight each other. So I just want to give a little heads up to everybody.
Okay, the
Yeah.
boundaries are shrinking. Quick, get out there and invade people's privacy while you
Well,
can.
you still can, yes.
Speaking of a bill that you didn't know was going to be so high, so Apple and Facebook are in a tizzy. They're spatting. CEO Tim Cook. He likes to poke fun at Zuckerberg there, who's Facebook's CEO, about, their privacy issues that they've had in the past and, of course, selling people's information. And, of course, Zuckerberg, he likes to poke back about the fact that Apple uses, not slave labor, but, their manufacturing techniques aren't the best. So there's always been a tit for tat. They're not
Hey,
huge
they're not
fans.
slaves. They get paid pennies an hour. It's
Right, yeah, it's, so anyway, this has recently come to a head over some admissions that were realized through leaked documents from Facebook employees to each other. And essentially Facebook has admitted through these emails that they knew that kids were buying a lot of stuff through in-app
Oh, yeah.
purchases. So
Yep.
you know about in-app purchases.
Yep, I sure
A lot
do.
of people don't know. So Candy Crush is very popular, Angry Birds. What they do is they give you little incentives when you're in the game. You're like, hey, if you want this new way of doing the game better, then just $2.99 or $1.99. Very small, incremental, but they mask it in the game to look like fake money. So kids as young as 5 years old who love to play these games will just click away and their parents get a bill on their credit card for hundreds of dollars. So the only reason this was flagged is because the credit card companies have something called chargeback rates. So whenever a client calls and been like, hey, my credit card's $500 because, my kid charged a bunch of money, what the heck? The Visa or whoever makes a note of that, and then they track that company. So when it gets to 1% chargeback, then they open an investigation, and that's what happened. And then these emails became apparent. Facebook used the term whales, which is a term used for somebody at a casino who comes in with a lot of money that the casino knows is going to blow the money. So they'll fly in whales from overseas, treat them to lavish luxury
There's
suites.
an even better phrase that I saw on this exact same. Keep going.
Yeah, so they knew that these kids were unknowingly purchasing all of this on their parents' credit card, and they exploited that. So Apple, because that's a direct violation of their terms, locked out Facebook employees from a lot of the apps that run on Apple and Android phones. So this has created this back and forth feud. you know, again, they've been at each other for a while, but this is really escalating now because, of course, it created havoc amongst the Facebook employees who couldn't use a lot of their stuff because that's how they used like Workplace to communicate with each other, which is a Facebook app to integrate business activities, you know, meetings and stuff like that. So yeah, it's really escalated.
It's incredible what Facebook's doing, getting away with, and justifying. Because in the very same way Trump justifies stuff, and I realized this a few times as I watch all these news reports and everything. But it's a human condition. We genuinely trust people.
Yes.
So I expect when you talk to me, you're telling me the truth.
Right.
And if you're telling me a story, you may elaborate some stuff. But overall, I expect you're telling me the truth. And I just trust what you're saying.
Sure.
I meet some guy I've never met. I've known you, 20 years?
Yeah.
I meet some other guy I've never met before. He does the same thing. I give him the benefit of the doubt. I believe what he's telling me. Just
Yeah.
genuinely. I don't instantly go, I don't know, this fucker's probably bullshitting me. But the problem with that is that when Trump comes on, and we know we've got you. We know you're lying. We know you're working with Russia. We know. But he comes on and goes, no, I'm not. You're confused. You don't understand it. Blah, blah, blah. We all go, okay, well, maybe we'll find proof then, because I'm pretty sure you are. But if you say you're not, I inherently take that as true, and I need to go find evidence. And that's why this whole Mueller thing and everything is going round and round and round, because we inherently trust people. So when
Yeah.
he says, nope, and Roger Stone says, nope, we all have to give that little bit of doubt and go, oh, well, maybe they must be telling the truth. They're humans just like me.
That's a con man's best weapon is
Absolutely.
working on the automatic trust of people.
And so everyone inherently understands, and I think we all know that something is wrong with Trump, every single associate with Trump, blah, 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 blah. We all know that for a fact. We all know in our heart of hearts.
Yeah.
But when he says no, it's not true, we go, oh, well, gee, I guess I'm going to have to prove it to myself then.
That's right,
And that's
yeah.
what we do.
Yeah.
And Zuckerberg has become and is quickly being revealed as the
Yeah.
exact same thing. He calls, you know how lying is now alternative facts.
Yes.
Thanks to Kellyanne Conway.
God.
And we just accept it and we
Yes,
move on. And
yeah.
the alt-right are just Nazis basically, but we call them the alt-right. So we all kind of go, oh, okay, and we keep moving on.
Oh man.
Don't call them what it is. So Zuckerberg, this is what I was referring
Yeah.
to.
Oh,
This
friendly fraud. That was in
this
my
is it.
story
Yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah.
Friendly fraud.
That
yeah.
is what Zuckerberg, when he put in
Language.
when put on the spot,
Yep.
you go, oh no, actually that's friendly fraud. That's their actual official term on the back end of their actual policies.
Yeah.
They call it friendly fraud. They know, hey everyone, kids are going to tap on these apps and they're going to spend $100 to get the special fish in that fishing game. That's just friendly fraud.
Yeah.
That's what they call it.
Yeah,
It's just,
yeah, that's it. So, if you're a parent, it's really on you to, make sure what your kids are watching. I mean, it should be on you anyway, but just check your phone, check your bill, because you might be surprised by what's on there, and it's just another excuse to, hang out with your kids a little more.
And turn off your
In-app purchases.
Yeah, like
you
it's
can do
very
that,
simple.
and that's something that Apple supports. In fact, there's an app that you can download. I don't know what it's called, but if you go into the App Store, Apple has something so that all the apps run through it. It sends you an alert before your child is able to make a purchase. You can then approve it or not. So you're fully aware in real time as to what's happening with their usage.
And a lot of times we only learn by hearing other people going through the same stuff. So I'm fortunate enough that I knew about this stuff ahead of time, so
Oh,
I
good.
canceled all this stuff.
Yeah.
And what happens is parents actually do. Maybe you have set this up, but at some point you got lazy and your kid wanted something and you said, okay, fine, here, and you put your password in front of your kid. Or you told your kid your password to be lazy and go away.
Yeah.
And your kid remembered that password because that's like gold to them.
Sure.
Can you imagine being a kid and getting your parents' password?
I mean, they don't know they're kids, right? They got it figured out.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
exciting as
yeah,
hell.
That's
You're
right.
gonna go ahead and you're gonna do that every single time.
Yeah,
Oh, well,
yeah.
mom's in the shower. I know the password. She'll be fine with it. I've
Yeah.
asked her twice. She said yes. It's probably fine.
Yeah.
Right? And
Yep.
then a month and a half later, your bill shows up, or a month later, whatever, and all hell breaks loose, and that's where it comes from.
So to add insult to injury on this, Facebook has also been guilty of using VPNs. You know what a VPN is?
Virtual private network.
Awesome. Jeff is a tech guy. I am not.
I'm not. I work at an IT company, but I'm not the IT guy.
So this allows whoever has issued, correct me if I'm wrong, issued the VPN to access anything on your phone. Pictures, text messages, phone calls, it essentially gives them access, much like the screen-on-screen ability. So what they did is they were paying teenagers, specifically targeting teenagers, some as young as 13, to add these VPNs. They would do it knowingly and willingly, because they're 13, and that would then allow them to collect all of that data about what they're using, what searches they're doing, what texts they're sending, about what, all of that information.
So my understanding, these were actual Facebook staff members of some kind. Is that part of what you understand?
These people who are using the VPNs?
As far as I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, or maybe I'm talking about something different.
Yeah.
But there was a control group of Facebook employees
Yeah.
who were asked to download a particular app
Yeah.
that specifically did track their
No,
usage. Oh,
no,
was something else?
this is, yeah, public citizens,
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
this
okay.
is not, this was not, no, cause some of them were 13 years old.
Right.
Yeah, and it was targeted at teenagers
Okay.
specifically, yeah. So, yeah, anyway, I've got a whole ton of the stuff about like their long feud and, yeah, online tracking and all
Well,
the
that
rest
comes
of it,
back to
but,
what we were talking about earlier, is that it's all about perception, and people don't understand what they're giving away when they sign away these rights.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if we talked about it last time, I think we talked about it last episode, but people who were signing up for these, DNA,
oh, yes, it was
stuff,
last episode, yeah.
Please, people, stop giving companies your DNA, you don't understand what you're signing away. You're literally signing away your
That's your program.
program. You
Yeah.
are literally signing yourself away, and your kids and their next generational offspring. You are literally giving away your life.
If you thought Monsanto was bad,
This is
wait
a billion times worse.
I was gonna say wait 10 years, but I don't think it's gonna take that long. I'd say wait 5
If you
years.
get
yeah.
a call from an air search company or something like that, or any company who wants your DNA, just you know, it's in its infancy, and the first thing people are going to do is take advantage of you. So right now the technology is there,
Yeah.
and the instant thought was, how can I make money off of this?
Yeah.
And that's selling your literal pattern DNA to companies. So you basically are owned by a corporation now, and there's nothing you can do about it. You literally signed yourself away.
And I think we just don't know the potential of what that information could be used for. I think we just haven't thought like far enough ahead, and again, like in 5, 10, 15 years, we'll be like, oh, well, that's what you can use with DNA information? Well, I didn't know that at the time, but
course.
it'll be too late.
We
So
are the
just
most
be
ignorant
cognizant.
we've ever been, with the most information accessible
Yeah,
to us.
and I mean, who knows? Maybe it'll turn out for everyone's the best. That it'll be great. It'll all be euphoric.
He's
and
wrong.
utopian.
He's wrong. We should put a line right here and just say no, unfortunately.
Okay.
I've lost my page here, and I can't get back to it, so I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I was actually on the website, and now I've gone back and forth so many times, I've lost what I had.
Okay, do you want
So
me to
sorry.
do my
Yeah,
last story
carry
here?
on, yes.
Okay, so speaking of things you didn't know were happening right under your nose, how do you say that?
Joaquin?
Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. You know El Chapo. Yeah, so El Chapo, of course, was head of the largest cartel. I think it's like to date, bigger than, who's the big guy in Colombia?
Walter White?
Yeah, the Narcos was about him, and I've forgotten
I
his
thought
name now.
Narcos was about this. I've never seen Narcos.
No, well, they might follow Chap because it does. I haven't watched the previous episode.
Narcos is not about El Chapo?
No, it's about. It'll come to me later. But anyway, another huge Colombian. I think the Narcos is the cocaine. But El Chapo is into everything. So he has recently been found guilty in the United States for 10 charges. You name it, it's in there. Murder. Although I think they just got him on tax evasion. I actually didn't find out what the specific charges were. But narcotics trafficking was the big thing. So he faces life in jail. He's accused of countless murders under his watch, influencing. It was brought up in court that he gave one of his lieutenants or his helpers $1 million a month bribery fund. Yeah, just to make sure that political figures and everybody. His business model was to essentially infiltrate the entire Mexican political system, be it police, politicians, so that he could operate scot-free. And it's alleged that he paid former Mexican President Enrique Pena Nieto. I'm horrible at names. $100 million. 100 million. It's a lot of bucks.
To look the other way.
Look the other way because the corruption went that high.
Money talks.
Yeah. So anyway, they're gonna ship him to jail. So this investigation's been going on over like 20 years. They found tunnels, over 200 different tunnels.
Wait a minute. Would these tunnels, I don't know, get through walls?
That's so awesome that you said that, because I read that and there was actually a report. It's like, and these tunnels under the walls or something, that I laughed
Right?
and I laughed and I was like, yeah, exactly, yeah. Walls don't do nothing.
Walls
Does
don't
nothing.
work.
Yeah.
Wheels work.
Well, not to mention that he used submarines, he used boats,
If
he
you
used
want to get it
planes.
and the money's there, you're gonna do whatever the hell it takes. So you're gonna launch them with drones. You're gonna do everything you can to circumnavigate a wall. Walls can you can get over a wall with a ladder. I can get you a ladder in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't have one here. That's why I say I need 20 minutes. I just need to go to the store.
Yeah, he was worth $14 billion at the Sinaloa cartel is the name of his car. I should be careful. Should we be careful reporting on this? I don't know.
Hey,
We're
there's
not
no
gonna
such
say
thing
where
as bad press.
Okay.
So-
One of us winds up dead.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So he's finally been found guilty of all that stuff. So we'll see if he's life in prison. Now he's not going to go back to prison in Mexico because he already escaped Mexican prison twice.
Wow.
Yeah. So he's going to
He
spend.
escaped, or he just walked around, gave batches
Yeah,
of handfuls
well,
of money, and
I'm
walked
sure
out.
little of that happened, but I didn't look into how he escaped. An elaborate.
It was probably elaborate.
Yeah, way. But anyway,
crazy.
that's it. So the goose is loose, or the
Cool.
goose is capped.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sorry, my dogs are making noise over there.
Oh, I can't even hear him. I thought that was my tummy.
Oh no,
Yeah.
it's definitely the dogs.
Okay. So thanks for joining us here on CaNews. Check us out, as we already said, Twitter, Instagram.
At CaNews Podcast.
Thank you. And that's, have a fruitful week.
2 weeks.
2 weeks,
Actually,
yeah, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
weeks.
And if you like this podcast, go back into our archives. As I said, we did cover the SNC Lavalin case a couple years ago. Many other things. We've got lots of old podcasts to listen to. And if you like what you're hearing right now or what you're looking at right now, then tell a friend. We don't
Please, yes.
ask for money. You don't have to pay for this podcast, but just tell somebody
Yet.
about it.
Oh.
Yeah. Yet.
If you're listening to this, we do this on video, so you can find us on YouTube and Instagram as well. If you're watching this, we do the podcast too, so you can listen to us on the way to work.
Awesome. And that's all we have about that.
Pretty much.
Yeah!
What's happening? Okay, I'll play along.